gmna uses artificial intelligence for generated speech, visuals, and production. AI-generated content may contain errors. Please verify important information before making decisions or taking action.
Here are our top stories.
Montreal will host a lying-in-state ceremony on August 19th to honor late jazz pianist Oliver Jones, who passed away on July 22nd at 91, celebrating his national musical legacy. Antoine Prévost has the full story.
Montreal hosted a lying-in-state ceremony on August 19, 2026, to honor the late Oliver Jones. The 91-year-old pianist passed away on July 22, 2026, prompting a tribute to his decades-long influence on Canadian jazz. Organizers kept the venue quiet as friends, family, and fellow musicians gathered to remember his contributions, from his early recordings to his later performances that helped shape the nation's musical landscape. The event featured a moment of silence, followed by a brief playing of his most recognizable melodies, underscoring the respect he earned across generations. The ceremony closed with a final salute to the artist whose work remains a touchstone for the jazz community. Antoine Prévost, GMNA News, Montreal.
Today a pony was ushered into the Palais de Justice de Montreal, igniting a heated debate over the unchecked sale of assistance animal harnesses online. Court staff reported the animal arrived in a small carriage, its rider claiming the pony was a certified service animal. Officials say the incident highlights a growing market where vendors ship harnesses without verifying eligibility, allowing ordinary pets to be presented as service animals. Animal welfare advocates warn the practice puts animals at risk and undermines legitimate assistance animal programs. The courthouse has temporarily closed the main lobby, while security reviews the situation and determines whether the pony can remain. Police are investigating the source of the harness and the legality of its sale. The controversy continues to unfold as authorities examine how online platforms may be facilitating fraudulent service animal claims.
2 consecutive equipment failures have forced the Réseau Express Metropolitain to suspend service for roughly 4 hours today. The breakdown occurred on the main track, triggering an immediate shutdown of all lines. Engineers are on site working to diagnose the fault while crews replace the damaged components. Commuters waiting at stations across the island are being advised to seek alternative transportation, and the Transit Authority has posted updates on its website and mobile app. The REM, which links the downtown core with the South Shore, the airport, and the North Shore, carries tens of thousands of riders each day, so the interruption is expected to ripple through peak hour travel. Officials said they will continue monitoring the situation and aim to restore full service as soon as safety checks are completed.
Quebec officials remain cautious after a 3-day pause on new U.S. tariffs led to a tentative trade agreement between the United States and Canada, leaving the province awaiting full details. Antoine Prévost has the full story.
The 3-day pause on new American tariffs has ended, and officials say a provisional trade accord was struck between Washington and Ottawa. President Donald Trump and former Bank of Canada Governor Mark Carney signed off on the tentative deal, while Quebec's Trade Minister Christine Freichette said the province will review the terms before taking a firm stance. The suspension was meant to give negotiators breathing room, and both sides say it kept pressure off businesses awaiting clarity. Quebec leaders remain cautious, citing the need for full details on how the agreement will affect local industries. The province is watching closely as the broader North American framework takes shape. Antoine Prévost, GMNA News, Montreal.
Premier Christine Freichette emerged from a 90-minute meeting with Prime Minister Mark Carney in downtown Montreal earlier today without a clear view of how the pending Ottawa-Washington customs duty arrangement will affect the province. Freichette told reporters she could not determine whether the agreement will benefit Quebec's economy, noting that Carney offered no reassurance on the matter. The discussion, which lasted roughly 1.5 hours, focused on the bilateral negotiations between Canada and the United States that aim to reshape cross-border tariff rules. Both officials emphasized the need for continued dialogue, but the Premier's uncertainty underscores lingering questions as the two governments work toward a final text. Analysts will watch for further statements as the talks progress. The outcome may shape future provincial budgets and investment decisions. Stakeholders will monitor the next round of negotiations closely.
Later, we'll explore how the Quebec Hospital launches its first adolescent bariatric surgery program, a groundbreaking step for youth health. We will be right back.
Every day, important stories happen across the city before any news crew arrives. Sometimes the very first person at the story is you. When you witness something newsworthy, open the GMNA Citizen Reporter app and start your report. The app guides you through every step while your report is delivered directly to the GMNA newsroom. Every submission is reviewed by our editorial team, and approved reports may be featured on GMNA. Get the GMNA Citizen Reporter app today at my.gmna.ca. Your city, your news. Welcome back. Quebec's health system marked a milestone today as a provincial hospital opened the nation's first dedicated adolescent bariatric surgery program. The new service will focus on teenagers struggling with severe obesity, offering a surgical option that has been scarce across Canada. Officials project the center will perform between 15 and 30 procedures annually, a modest volume designed to build expertise while maintaining safety standards. The initiative follows growing clinical evidence that carefully selected young patients can achieve lasting weight loss and improved metabolic health when lifestyle measures alone fall short. Hospital administrators emphasize that multidisciplinary care, including nutrition, psychology, and post-operative follow-up, will accompany each operation. By launching this program, the province hopes to fill a gap in pediatric obesity treatment and provide a structured pathway for families seeking advanced medical intervention.
Montreal's municipal administration under Martinez-Ferrada plans to restart the halted Eastern REM extension, redesigning it to connect with the Green Line after its 2022 cancellation over public opposition. Simon Fortier has the full story.
City officials are moving to resurrect the stalled eastern leg of the REM, a rapid transit line that was frozen in May 2022. The Martinez-Ferrada administration unveiled a new design that would tie the extension directly into the Green Line, hoping to sidestep the downtown opposition that halted the original plan. Engineers are already mapping out the revised route, and municipal crews are surveying the corridor from the east end of the island toward the metro hub. The push comes as Montreal prepares its August 2026 budget, earmarking funds to jump-start construction. If approved, the link could add several kilometers of service and bring more neighborhoods within walking distance of rapid transit. Simon Fortier, GMNA News, Montreal.
Backpacks and school supplies are being distributed to 12,000 students in need across Quebec under the Operation Sac à Dos program. The initiative, coordinated by the nonprofit Regroupement Partage, was announced today by its director Anne-Marie Athier. She said the effort aims to equip children who lack basic materials with everything required for a successful school year. CBC Montreal Daybreak's Sean Henry reported that volunteers will assemble kits at community centers throughout the province, targeting families facing financial strain. Participating schools in regions such as the Outaouais, Saguenay, and the Eastern Townships have signed up to receive the kits. The drive, slated to run through the fall, will provide each student with a backpack, notebooks, pencils, and other essentials. Funding comes from donations by businesses and citizens, with organizers hoping the outreach will close resource gap before classes resume, ensuring every child can start the year on equal footing.
STM officials unveiled a slate of events to honor 60 years of the Metro, set for 14 October. The celebration will roll out across the network, with special rides, retro signage, and guided tour that spotlight the system's launch in 1966. Commuters can expect themed station decorations, live music on the Green Line platform at St. Laurent, and a limited edition transit card featuring historic maps. The authority also plans a public open house at the original Place des Arts station, where engineers will display vintage control panels. Families will have a chance to ride a restored silver-green train car on the Orange Line for a short circuit. STM says the festivities aim to connect today's riders with the Metro's design legacy, while encouraging a fresh look at future upgrades. All activities are scheduled throughout October, inviting residents to experience the city's iconic underground network.
A political analyst in Ottawa says the upcoming Quebec election this fall will not jeopardize the newly announced Churchill Falls Hydroelectric Pact, citing federal influence to maintain the agreement. Antin Prevost has the full story.
With the provincial elections slated for the coming fall of 2026, political analysts in Ottawa are already weighing the impact on the freshly negotiated Churchill Falls Hydroelectric Pact. One expert told us that despite a possible shift in Quebec's leadership, the federal government's leverage should keep the agreement on track. The deal, which is due to be formally announced within weeks, hinges on long-term water power exports that benefit both provinces. Ottawa officials, the source said, are prepared to step in if provincial negotiations stall, ensuring continuity regardless of who wins the ballot. As campaign season heats up, the consensus among insiders is that the new pact remains secure. Antin Prevost, GMNA News, Montreal.
Now, let's turn to your evening outlook and see what weather's bringing tonight.
A deepening high-pressure ridge and a swift southwestern jet sculpt tonight's clear, calm night over Montreal. On this date, the all-time heat mark sits at 31.2 degrees, set back in 2015 during an unprecedented late summer heat wave that pushed the city into the upper 30s elsewhere. The bitter cold record stands at 10.6 degrees, recorded in 2014 when an Arctic dip slipped south, dumping sub-10 temperatures across the province. By contrast, the climatological average for August 19th hovers around 26 degrees for the high and 19 for the low, making today's mild 23 high feel comfortably below the norm. Zooming into the live radar, the screen is blank across the St. Lawrence Basin, no rain echoes, no snow bands, just a clean echo field. That emptiness mirrors the high pressure that has settled over the province, with the fast southwest jet acting as a ceiling, suppressing lift and keeping moisture locked out. Expect the clear signature to linger over Montreal until sunrise, then dissolve as the night deepens. At 11 p.m. Montreal sits at 19 degrees, mainly clear, humidity near 82%, and a gentle 6 km/h breeze from the southwest. A near-average pressure is rising, signaling a high-pressure ridge tightening over the region, while a swift 16.4 km/h southwest jet streams aloft, reinforcing subsidence and keeping the air mass dry. With those dynamics, the overnight will stay cloud-free, and sunrise will greet a mild 23-degree high and a low around 17. The UV index stays at 1, and wind will remain modest, never topping 25 km/h. No weather alerts are in force. With the atmosphere set, let's slide into the 5-day detailed preview outlook. Thursday brings a high of 23 degrees and a low of 15, but the sky will stay overcast as lingering moisture from the Atlantic pushes a thin cloud deck across the city. Friday clears dramatically, offering a bright 24-degree high and a cool 14-degree low under a crisp northwest flow. Saturday spikes to 27 with a low of 15. A 50% chance of rain lurks in the afternoon as the jet dips south, injecting a pulse of moisture. Sunday remains warm at 26, low 18, but fog will blanket the morning and a 55% rain threat follows, driven by a weak cold front. Monday eases back to 22 and 17, mainly clear skies with only a 25% chance of showers as high pressure reasserts itself. And that's your weather. Remember, the wrap is also available as a podcast. Listen anytime on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts.
Up next, traffic updates, a look at today's stories, plus a sports snapshot before we head to the Chamber Spotlight. We will be right back.
Every day, important stories happen across the city before any news crew arrives. Sometimes the very first person at the story is you. When you witness something newsworthy, open the GMNA Citizen Reporter app and start your report. The app guides you through every step while your report is delivered directly to the GMNA newsroom. Every submission is reviewed by our editorial team, and approved reports may be featured on GMNA. Get the GMNA Citizen Reporter app today at my.gmna.ca. Your city, your news.
And now here's Jason with sports.
Big news for Habs fans, history, prospects, and unfinished business at the Bell Center. Mark November 10th on your calendar. The Canadiens will induct Carey Price into the Bell Center Ring of Honor during their game against the Minnesota Wild, one night after he enters the Hockey Hall of Fame. Back-to-back immortality. For a franchise that lives its history, this is exactly the send-off Price deserves. Vinzenz Rora checks in at number 18 in the Canadiens' top 25 under 25 rankings. After back-to-back championship hardware in Switzerland, his output dropped sharply last season. The fact that he made the trip to Laval when his European season ended early tells you he wants to push his case. That initiative matters in a crowded prospect pool. With training camp on the horizon, Arbor Exekej and Zachary Bolduc remain without contracts as restricted free agents. Both are important depth pieces. These holdouts add real uncertainty to the Canadiens' roster heading into the fall. Meanwhile, Alexei Vlasov out of Victoriaville earns a rookie camp invitation. One door closing, another opening. Plenty of Habs storylines to track as camp gets closer. Stay with us.
Thanks, Jason.
Welcome back. Quebec CBC Montreal and local groups launch a podcast chronicling Rouyn-Noranda's centennial, tracing the city's rise from the 1926 Noranda mine boom to today's celebrations. Elise Marchand has the full story.
Today's podcast dives into the story of Rouyn-Noranda as it marks its 100-year anniversary. Produced by CBC Montreal alongside local heritage groups and longtime residents, the series traces the town's birth in 1926, when the Noranda mine sparked a gold and copper rush. Interviews weave together memories of miners, families from distant lands, and community leaders who shaped the early streets. Listeners hear vivid descriptions of the Centennial Parade, firework displays over the river, and the unveiling of a new historic plaque downtown. The program also highlights school projects and oral history recordings that keep the pioneering spirit alive for the next generation. Today, Elise Marchand, GMNA News, Rouyn-Noranda.
Montreal City Council has postponed approval for a new school in Park Extension, citing the need to verify projected student age population growth. The Centre de Services Scolaires de Montreal and local officials remain divided. Elise Marchand has the full story.
City officials are still holding back the green light for a new school in Park Extension, saying they need solid proof that the neighborhood's school-age population will rise enough to justify the build. The proposal, put forward by the Centre de Services Scolaires de Montreal, has already cleared an initial review, but the municipal administration has flagged the lack of confirmed demographic data as a roadblock. Councillor Martinez Ferrada echoed the city's stance, noting that without a reliable forecast of student numbers, committing resources would be premature. Meanwhile, the school board is gathering the data required for the city's validation process, hoping to move the project forward once the numbers are verified. Local families have been watching the debate closely, hoping the school will ease overcrowding at nearby campuses. Elise Marchand, GMNA News, Park Extension.
Thank you, Montreal, for joining us on The Wrap. It was a privilege to share the moving tribute to jazz legend Oliver Jones at yesterday's vigil. We'll be back tomorrow with more of the city's stories, so stay tuned and have a great evening. Enjoy the night ahead.